I'm Kevin Haygood, Los Cristianos Motorcycle Ministry, East Texas, and I'm chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Kevin Haygood. What's up,
Good
man?
morning.
How you doing?
Good morning. Man, I'm good. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Dallas, Texas. Grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. My parents divorced when I was a child, and I flipped and flopped between Georgia and Texas. But I went to high school in south side of Atlanta in East Point, Georgia. Been back and forth from here to Georgia more times than I can count. Currently reside in East Texas.
When did you first start getting involved into motorcycles?
Oh man, I was a little kid. I way before your time, but when Sears and Roebuck had those little mini bikes with the Briggs and Stratton motor on it, I had one of those when I was a little kid. Then I got a little mini trail 50 with the little automatic 3-speed, and right on up through the years, and got my first street bike when I turned 18, Yamaha 650, and right on into the shovelhead days, and then right on into my first twin cam. I guess my first brand new motorcycle was in '99 when they come out with the twin cam, and got a new Road King.
Feels good getting
Been riding
a new
ever.
bike, right?
Oh yeah, that was my first new one. Had to get on a waiting list there at Stone Mountain Harley Davidson in Atlanta. Stayed on a list for a year. In those days, you had to get on a list to get a new one. And they called me and said, "Man, we got one in. I don't know if you want it or not. It's cobalt blue." They said, if you want it, come get it. Come look at it. If you don't, we understand. You can have the next one that comes in. And it was definitely purple, but I bought it. I didn't want to wait any longer for a new one.
Did you paint it?
Nah, I rode it right on up till 02 and traded it for a 100th anniversary Electra Glide with all of the gold key stuff on it. Then I rode the wheels off of it. Ended up, golly, trading it for, I guess, in 12 for a Electra Glide again.
So there's a lot of motorcycle clubs in your area in Texas, right?
A whole lot. Yes, sir.
And what area in Texas are you? By near Houston or?
Northeast Texas, Longview, right. Shreveport, Louisiana is about 45 minutes from the house. We're right on the Texas-Louisiana border, right on I-20.
So you've been around for a while. I'm not going to say a long time. You've been around for a while, and you've seen these clubs grow over the years and explode in popularity. Like, what type of stuff have you seen over the years? And when did you first notice clubs in your area?
I was in Georgia in the late 90s. I had moved back to Georgia. I was out there, and we started a motorcycle club in 2001 there in Middle Georgia called the Steel Horseman Motorcycle Club. We went to Atlanta, visited with the Outlaws, got permission, followed all of the protocols. So we started that little club in 2001. It's a big club now. They're got several chapters around there now. Good bunch of guys, really good guys. That was my introduction to the club scene. 02, I decided I'd been riding and spending a lot of time with the Outlaws around Georgia. So I decided I wanted to probate. I probated out of the Atlanta, Georgia chapter, and we were getting ready to start the Macon, Georgia chapter. And my mom died, and we brought her back to Texas. And so one of my biggest regrets is the fact that I did not complete my probationary period with the Outlaws. I brought my mama back to Texas, buried her, and ended up coming back to Texas and staying out here. And then when I got to Texas, that was early 2000s. Historically, Texas has always been red and gold, right? Not so much here lately, but back then it was solid red and gold.
And then now it's really turning over, right? Like the Beast has blown in popularity there.
Oh man, there's probably if I had to guess, I could say a half a dozen or better 1% clubs within 50 miles of where I live.
You know, the media spins the narrative when it comes to motorcycle clubs. What is your perception of motorcycle clubs, 1% clubs?
Depends on which one they are. I've got opinions. I probably need to keep them to myself. My primary purpose today is to try to give all the honor and glory to God from a Christian motorcycle perspective. However, I've got opinions on all of that. We started a motorcycle. I pastored a motorcycle church there in my little town for 5 years, and then COVID kind of wrapped all of that up. The end of Waco wrapped all of that up. Had a motorcycle ministry here for a lot of years, and politics stepped in, and that went by the wayside. But
what's the motorcycle ministry like? Can you tell me about that?
The ministry that we started was Los Cristianos Motorcycle Ministry. We were predominantly red and gold. Period. We were a red and gold support ministry. I had guys in 6 states. I had 4 guys throughout Texas. We didn't have chapters. I set it up as basically those guys were chaplains to the chapters in their areas. I set it up a little more stringent than even as a red and gold support club. My guys were required to attend funerals within 500 miles. If their chapter went to a funeral, I expected them to go with their chapter. If their chapter had weddings or whatever, I mean, that was their responsibility to meet the needs of that chapter, whether it's marital counseling, drug and alcohol counseling, child counseling, whatever, you know. I mean, it was a cool deal. It was really heartbreaking when it went away.
That's a good thing to have in the area when people are going through things like funerals and weddings and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I did. Golly, I've done way more weddings than funerals. I don't really like to do either one. However, that's part of it, right? But it's a joke for me, but I'd rather do a funeral than a wedding because they generally stay dead way longer than they stay married, right? But that's just part of it, you know.
Yeah. But like notifications, death notifications, right? You go notify the family.
Yeah, I have been with I've been with family members whose parents took their last breath, right? I mean, I've literally held the father's hand when he took his last breath. You know, it's very humbling, very, very humbling to be in that role. And man, I knew it was all a season when I went into it, and I'm truly, truly grateful that God gave me that opportunity to minister to those guys and spend time with those guys and plant those seeds. You know, I may have been the only Bible they ever read. You know, some days are better than others. You know, I love Jesus, but I will cuss a little bit, right? So I'll still sling one out there every once in a while.
Me too. I'm the same way.
Right on.
So you were in Texas when the whole Waco situation happened, right?
Yes, sir. I was pastoring that little church during Waco. There were 7 individuals out of the East Texas area that were there at Waco. Red and gold. I was, like I said, I was red and gold support for almost 20 years here in East Texas. Yeah, seven of the East Texas families were there at Waco.
So they were caught up and arrested and everything?
Yes, sir.
Do you think they overstepped their boundaries when they arrested everybody that was there?
Oh, Abel Reyna and those guys definitely stepped on their dude. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it was definitely overreaction.
So what do you think happened there? Because there's different stories on whether the police are the ones that are responsible for killing them bikers or even starting the whole thing. Do you think that's partially true?
I was not there, so I hate to even speak on it. You know, I've got opinions on all of that, but it's just that I was not at Waco, so I don't want to give an opinion on it. I think that if you read the reports and go back and look at all the ballistic reports and all such as that. It's a pretty good indication that I don't know too many bikers that walk around toting semi-automatic rifles with 223 rounds, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty wild. So, how did COVID affect your motorcycle club lifestyle during that time? Did it shut the whole thing down? Like, what happened?
No, man, I went to a lot of funerals that year. I would have to go back and look, but golly, I want to say that there were probably 20. 20 would be a good safe estimate. We went to a lot of funerals that year. Again, you know, if the local chapters in my area went to a funeral, I went. I set the example, right? I led by example with my guys. If there was a funeral within 500 miles, I went. And I want to say it was a little over 20 funerals that year during COVID. A lot of funerals. That was just an odd period that we went through, right? Some of it was COVID, motorcycle wrecks. Just man, it was just a rough time during that period.
Yeah, it was unreal how many people were passing away. And you couldn't be there for your family, like when they had the funerals for people or people were in the hospital, you couldn't visit them. Was that happening out there in Texas too?
Well, it was, but it wasn't, and it's kind of a funny story. My wife shared the memory on Facebook the other day, and I was looking at it. Uh, uh, a brother was in the hospital there in East Texas, and they wouldn't let me in, and I pulled my pastor card, and I said, you know, I'm his pastor. I'm not just his brother, I'm his pastor. And she said, well, you're just going to have a seat over there. And this gentleman walked in with a 3-piece suit and the shiny shoes, the slick back hair, and he wanted to make a pastor's visit. And the little pink lady at the desk, right? She said, well, I'm sorry, we're trying to get all of that sorted out right now. And she pointed at me. She said, this gentleman's been sitting here for almost 3 days waiting to get up and see his person there. He said, well, I'm a real pastor.